नमस्कार दोस्तों, एक बार फिर मैं हाजिर हूँ आपके लिए एक पॉडकास्ट लेके। हर औरत के पीछे एक कहानी होती है, कभी खामोशी तो कभी रवानी होती है। जब वो औरत अपनी पहचान बना लेती है, सारी दुनिया उसकी दीवानी होती है। दोस्तों, एक बार फिर मैं आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ आज के इस खास गेस्ट के, जो कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया से हैं और जो कि एक आयुर्वेदा में डील करते हैं। आपने देखा है कि स्ट्रेस लेवल जो है बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया है। बहुत ही खूबसूरत गेस्ट है हमारे साथ विनीता जी। या आयुर्वेदा को इंडियन हर्ब्स और इंडियन का जो कल्चर है उसके साथ वो ब्लेंड करके आज के मॉडर्न लाइफस्टाइल को कैसे वो लोगों को पहुंचाती हैं और उसको कैसे वो चेंज करती हैं। तो यस विनीता जी, वेलकम टू द शो। और आपको जो आयुर्वेदा की तरफ जो आपकी रुचि बढ़ी, लाइक हाउ डिड यू गेट अट्रैक्टेड टू आयुर्वेदा?
Daljeet, I'm from the fifth generation in the family. I'm a fifth generation Ayurvedic doctor. And we are called doctors, but we are Ayurveda acharyas, having the wisdom in the science of life, or it's called a way of living, and Ayurveda has been instilled right from our childhood. Even my parents, every time we would have any issues in the family, we were fed all those decoctions and concoctions and herbs, everything, because Ayurveda begins from your kitchen, and everything we use in our daily life, that is what Ayurveda is. Ayu means life, and Veda means a classical text. So it's a science that originated and evolved from the classical text. And it's called as a fifth Veda. We are familiar with the four Vedas, and Ayurveda is also one of the science and one of the scripture, and where it evolved from, all this wisdom evolved from. So I always had an interest, because that's how we grew up, in the family, and we hardly used to see any Western medicine doctors. And only in the case of in some emergency or anything, we may end up in a hospital. But apart from that, in a daily living, we just lived a Ayurvedic way. And that is how it was instilled in me right from my childhood. And I was very passionate about it. So that was my whole kind of intention when I was even selected for MBBS. But I chose to study Ayurveda just because I was very passionate about nature and all the natural plants and herbs and all that kind of stuff like that always used to attract me and fascinate me, how immense and how beautiful the nature is, and what it can offer to the beings on the earth and on the universe. So that was always my interest, and I tried to study just because we were from the Vedas family, but there was no one qualified as an Ayurvedic doctor. So they were just Vedas and passed on from generation to generation. But then I was the first one in the family who studied proper bachelor's in Ayurvedic medicine and surgery, and did my postgrad in naturopathy and yoga, as well as I did a business study, just to understand the business angle and the perspective in the Western world, because I live in Australia and in Melbourne, and it was very important for me to understand the Eastern practices, and having that knowledge in the Eastern practice and bringing it to the Western world, it was a big transition for me. Thank you.
So that means the Ayurveda, you can say it is in your DNA. You are born with Ayurveda, and which is a beautiful thing, because Ayurveda is a natural gift of God to us, which we don't have to look after anything else, because every human being has a doctor within, and the nature has provided us what really helps us in cure and staying healthy. So in Australia, did you face any kind of problems when you started your Ayurveda?
Well, no one was practicing in Australia. When I decided to move to Australia and I came here, I found it very strange that Ayurveda is popular all across the world, but globally it has a recognition. But why no one is doing in Australia? And that was one big enough reason for me to kind of like, explore the opportunity and how I can practice. So it took me initially like 2 years basically to discover how I can start practicing and what I can do. So like I was meanwhile like going to the universities and colleges, like just to find out if I can find out what's the best possible way to start practicing Ayurveda here, and if I need to study more. But then that was the biggest challenge for me. So I was like visiting many other practitioners and even the institutes and universities. And then I came to know that there is a association, and I just like contacted them, like, and that I came to know from one of the institute, which is in the Natural Medicine College. And they said only one person practices, like I think like is the one who is leading Ayurveda, and he's established in Adelaide, not in Melbourne. So I just contacted him, and then I just like found out if I need to study more. They said you are overqualified for the qualification because you are postgraduate, and we are not even offering like a bachelor's program yet. Like, so there is nothing that will stop you from practicing. So all you need to do is just like get yourself registered, insured, and like do the first aid kind of like a course, and you can get yourself registered in the association, any of the association that registers natural medicine practitioners, and you can do that. And that was it. That was my opening, and like I started practicing. So it's been like 26 years like now. I've been in Ayurveda, and I even had a transition into education while doing my practice. Like, so I volunteered with Department of Education in Skills IQ as a deputy chair. And I was just representing Ayurveda and Yoga, and after representation, we were just like in the qualifications, we had to design the training package, which was our work. Like, so I was nominated and elected as a deputy chair, like for the Industry Reference Committee in Skills IQ, where we used to design the training package for the health programs. So there were other qualifications as well, but I was mainly representing Ayurveda and Yoga.
So, see, it is so great. Which you in India, there are so many Ayurvedic practitioners, so many naturopath practitioners. Hardly they get even an opportunity to be recognized. But you are lucky enough that in Australia it was not up to that level, but people had an awareness, and you were overqualified. So you got a very ready-made table, a very ready-made, you can say, a higher level of stress to show your practices, like to show your knowledge and where you are successful now. So one question I want to ask you, like being a woman, like in today's world, because what was earlier, being a woman, do you think that it really makes any difference in the Western countries? Because in India, yes, there are lots of restrictions, like lots of ups and downs. So is there any thing like you being a woman having less knowledge or something taken for granted?
No, not really. Like because like I had a wisdom passed on from generations, like, and I was qualified, like, but they recognized us equivalent like a naturopath, and so our knowledge and study was more in the Eastern medicine, but even in the World Health Organization, which we have established center in India now as well, and which was recently established. But even in that, like they call it as integrative Ayurvedic medicine. Why they call it integrated is because we study all what is taught to the Western medicine, like all the subjects, like say gynae, surgery, ENT, like everything we study equivalent like the MBBS or the general medicine practitioners. But then we are taught extra in perspective to the treatments, like which is more on the holistic ground. So the diagnosis and the analysis is done exactly like what a Western medicine would do. Like apart from doing the pulse analysis, which is almost like what people were familiar here was more of a Chinese medicine. So it was easy for me to give an example of the Chinese medicine to introduce like what I practice, and it was all to do with. So I did like various number of retreats and workshops, like, and I wrote articles in the newspapers, like as well as like I did a lot of talks like in various number of organizations. I've been on TVs, radios, newspapers, like even on Indian radios, Punjabi radios, community radios, as well as on Channel 10 in David and Kim morning show. And I was actually the first one to receive award as a Business Woman of the Year in 2018 in Australia in the field of Ayurveda. And I represented Ayurveda from Australia in Brazil, in Chile, with Maharishi Ayurveda, and presented in front of 20,000 people and 5,000 people, and it was such an honor for myself, like to be able to bring it to Australia, particularly, like because it was already there in US and UK, but I did my best to kind of like promote and propagate Ayurveda, giving an example and taking an example at the yoga centers, like because yoga is a sister science for Ayurveda. So I just used to say like we are sister sciences, and that's where yoga has evolved from. And yoga and Ayurveda, and I always, even in my talks, like I always say, it's not Ayurveda, it's Ayurveda, it's a Veda, and it's a classical text, and it's a yoga, which is the union of mind, body, and soul, and it's just like following the lifestyle with the support of yoga, and curing or living an Ayurvedic lifestyle, so we can bring a right balance across like the mind, body, and the soul. So we integrate it together, and that's what they do, and they call it as integrative medicine, because it's like it complements the mainstream and the Western medicine, which is considered mainstream in the West, but in our India, we all know, and in China, countries like that, they always seek advice from an Ayurvedic physician before going to the hospital or to see the GP, which is a general physician or a Western medicine doctor. But here there was a trend, like that everyone would go to the GP first, Western medicine doctor, and if they wouldn't get help, then they would end up like going to a holistic practitioner. So which is transformed now. There is a big transition. We have a big Indian population, like it's almost, since I arrived in Australia, it's almost like 4 or 5 times the population here, and which actually and people are all into holistic ways of living and yoga. So I can already see the transition and the transformation happening, so which makes me feel happy and fulfilled, like that I sowed the seed and I can see the plants now, like, and the fruits.
That's wonderful. So, that's really great because Ayurveda is the oldest method in India. हमारे लॉन्ग टाइम ज़माने में ये जड़ी बूटियों से लॉन्ग ट्रीटमेंट्स, द ऋषिज दे यूज्ड टू डू इट. So it was suppressed, but now the natural things have again come up. People have started believing in naturopathy because it is the three things which a person needs to survive. Now I want to ask one question. See, you are balancing your family life and staying in a different country and the different culture and practicing Ayurveda, which was a very new thing. Sometimes did you feel like giving up or fed up, or so it was very tough for you and then you said, oh my god, I'll have to fight? So kahin na kahin, you felt something dark side, and how did you come out of that if you felt that?
Well, to say so, I was like, as I already mentioned, that I was very passionate about Ayurveda. So nothing could come in my way. If I would make up my mind that I have to do this, I will do it, whatever may it takes from me. And I was like very determined. Even though I've got kids and family life, I try to maintain that balance. When I'm home, I'm home. I'm not at my practice. But when I'm at my work, I'm at my work. Then none of the kids or anyone in the family can disturb me because they know I am at my work, and it means I am at my work. And I just used to have that sort of like a resilience, you can say, and I was very passionate to get it known and recognized in Australia, because I was the beginner, and then I became a vice president in the Association for Ayurveda. And I also became deputy chair for complementary health in Skills IQ for the Department of Education. Even now I'm a co-chair in Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I'm representing Ayurveda and Yoga everywhere. I was just doing my best as a mother, as a wife, or as an Ayurvedic doctor. I was successful. I accomplished 7 awards, and all I used to do was just pranayam in the morning and yoga. Just spend 15 minutes in the morning, and 10 minutes to 20 minutes of meditation. I even practiced transcendental meditation, and I used to practice meditation every night before I go to bed. I would just do that on my bed and before I would sleep, just to build my focus, and because I was I used to do pulse diagnosis, and I was very popular and well known for that, and just doing that and maintaining that balance. It was initially challenging, because I had to sacrifice some of my family time. But then eventually, when my business grew and built up, and then I had a team and people working with me and for me, and that was just easier for me to get out of there and have some family time. So I did my best, and I am in a point of my life at the moment that I would say more in a mindset sort of thing, more than the milestones.
In Ayurveda, what is your view that can we cure any disease from the root?
Well, in today's date, it's more of a I would say more need for Ayurveda, and Ayurvedic lifestyle, because it's mainly helpful with the lifestyle disorders and chronic illnesses. You can't go wrong if you choose Ayurveda, because it works best in the long term illnesses as well as in the lifestyle disorders, immune related issues, skin conditions, long term illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, skin conditions and mainly gut health, digestion, because everything in Ayurveda, it begins from the gut, whether it's a mental health issues or disorders. I have treated people here with many of the mental health issues, skin conditions, through Panchakarma, which is the another part of Ayurveda, where we offer body therapies to treat and even cure the conditions. I would use the term treatment is just like masking the conditions, and that's what we do with the Western medicine. But with Ayurveda, we look at the long-term results, and we try to eradicate the root cause of the issue rather than just fixing the symptoms. So we don't take a band-aid approach. We try to look at what's causing it, what's the root cause of the issue, and that's how we try to fix the root cause, and that would naturally subside all the symptoms that would disappear by itself, because mostly it's the symptoms of one specific condition that actually gets become like a illness, and people start taking it as seriously when they start observing the symptoms, and we put the underlying cause first and symptoms after. So that's the way and holistic approach that we take to fix any kind of conditions.
So, because being an Ayurved, so do you prescribe some kind of Ayurvedic medicines, or you try to cure people from the kitchen?
Well, diet has a major role, and the spices in our kitchen, starting from turmeric, it's become like a fad in the West world, and everyone is using turmeric more like an everyday kind of thing, which was a staple diet in India, and we put turmeric in every single vegetables or meats or whatever we cook, we put turmeric in that, because in the West it became like a fad, and people actually started doing, in a wrong sense, the use of turmeric, thinking that it's anti-inflammatory, it's antiseptic and antibiotic or whatever. It's got millions of benefits and helps with injuries like skin conditions, joint aches and pains, and all that kind of stuff. So we used to offer golden milk, a turmeric milk, a boiled milk, with the turmeric added to it, and people here started using more even in smoothies and with the cold stuff. And I was straight away, I was very clear, stop using that with the cold stuff, because turmeric can't be used, it will cause you harm rather than causing you benefit. And so people needed a bit more awareness and knowledge, without having a complete knowledge, it's incomplete knowledge can be dangerous and fatal, for your life, considering that Ayurveda is natural medicine and it doesn't have a side effects. What is the side effects? It's just the adverse effect of the positive effect. So it can happen even from the spices and from the plants. It's not that only Western medicine can cause you harm. even Ayurveda, like herbs and medicines can cause you adverse effects if you don't take advice of a proper Ayurvedic physician and get to understand and know yourself, your body, and then use, even if you have to use it from the kitchen. So its nutrition has a big role, but Ayurvedic herbs are for like people who are suffering from long-term illnesses. They do need some support of like some of the Ayurvedic supplements and Ayurvedic herbs, or in the form of tablets or jams or powders. It's available in even syrups, like, and whichever form, like you can take, like even any of the acute conditions or chronic conditions, but you may need like a herbs. But I have treated people just with following their diet, like in some of the acute conditions, and with panchakarma, like, which is massages, oil drippings on the forehead, which is shirodhara, like and a passive kind of meditation, we call it. And then Vaman Virechana Basti, which is like emesis, we make people throw up, like, or make them run to the toilet, which is, in a modern terminology, it's called detox or the cleansing. And then the colon cleanse, like Basti, which is a kind of like, we cleanse the gut, like, so that is where we begin from, like, so gut health is the main thing. That's where all the Ayurvedic therapies evolve from.
My next question is कि आज nowadays there are lots of nutraceutical products which are coming up of different brands, and it is so much flooding the market. It becomes so difficult for a person to know what kind of nutraceutical they should take, or whether it is important to take or not, or they should rely on the natural herbs which are available in our kitchen.
In the kitchen, we don't have complete herbs. We have spices, which is used partly like along with the herbs, but it's more of a food, like, and it's not like herbs. Nutraceutical means like a nutrition, or like it's more of like how they sell in the Western medicine. They sell Western medicine like pharmaceuticals. Nutraceuticals are natural, and they are they're herbs, like Ayurvedic herbs or plant-based herbs, and their extractions out. Like, say for example, you take a multivitamin, then instead of like taking a multivitamin, you can take a nutraceutical product that can benefit you and provide you with zinc, magnesium, and all that kind of like stuff. So it's kind of like a plant version of the pharmaceuticals, which is called nutraceutical.
So now so much of names, brands are being flooded. How do you recognize that which is the one a person should take in?
Well, that's on the own personal discernment of the people, like looking at the ingredients and the quality of the product. Like, it's like the same thing. There is like turmeric, say for example, a lot of people sell turmeric, but people use their own discernment and own kind of like knowledge, and sort of like based on the experience, or told by people that this brand is very nice or good, like, because it's the same thing like the Panadol, like, say for example, paracetamol. Paracetamol is sold even as Panamax, as Panadol, and as paracetamol as well. But it's up to the people what they choose. Like, it's just like you use your own discernment, basically. I can't say like this product would be better than the other, like, because there are companies which are people are like developing like creating more of the manufacturing units, like with nutraceuticals and with the Ayurvedic herbs. But more, my personal suggestion is just go with the traditional ones, like maybe in the form of like powder, buy the herbs, and use the pure form, like unless it's being recommended by the physician or the doctors, because they know which product has been well researched. So that's what you need to look at, like, and use your own experience and research that whether they have been well researched products, like, or they are just like a product. So say for example, the popular ones like like a Dabur or a Nagarjuna or Kotakul, Ayurveda, because they had been there for centuries, age long, and people just trust those brands. So it's just like, it depends on the people, like how they use their research, and they have to use their own discernment and choose the products like which they want to choose.
The natural herbs, like when we have to keep a shelf life of 4 to 5 years, so we do add on preservatives to that. So do you think the natural ingredients which are in a particular herb gives the same effect as it is raw?
So it's better to use like raw form, or like a well in the market, well researched product. That's what I would suggest. Like say from the Ayush Health Ministry back in India, like there are some of the products that come from charak and all that kind of like stuff. That's fine, because they are researched in the university, or in the Ayurvedic University in New Delhi, under AIMS, or the brands, popular brands already, like Dabur, Nagarjuna, and all that. Those medicines can be used. But with the nutraceuticals these days, you just have to read the label very well, whether they've been it's a research product, and whether it's been audited by the regulators and approved by the Ayush Health Ministry, then they're fine to take. Otherwise, just go for the raw ones.
Okay. So one personal question which I really was interested, since you have been changing life of people through Ayurveda. So sometimes you feel very tired, like because the managing the house and everything. So giving time to yourself, sometimes you need that me time. So how do you take out that me time? And if you are not able to, then how do you revive yourself?
Okay, so good question. But what I would suggest is you need to prioritize yourself, especially being a woman. Like, we take a lot of load of the family, and we always put others in front of us, like, and first. So I only suggest, like, the women, because she's like a spine in the house, and she keeps all that house like as a home, not as the four walls, and she needs to have that right balance in her life first, and need to prioritize her health and wellness first before anybody else. Only then you would be able to look after others. So I suggest all my clients, I always say, especially women, put yourself first, because if you can't look after yourself, then you won't be able to look after others. And always take out a time for yourself. Just shut everything. It's not end of the world. Nothing's gonna stop. Like, the world keeps going on still if I am not gonna be there. Like, so it's very important for me to have that me time, and I also go out with my friends. I have my weekend, and at least make sure that at least one day I keep it for myself. And that's regardless of anything, whether I spend that time with the family or my friends, or I just like pamper and spoil myself, go for my self massage or a facial or whatever. I need to do my hair or nails or whatever. I feel like I just like keep that day to myself. And that's my suggestion, even to every single woman, just please prioritize yourself, and self-love, self-care leads to the care of others. So you will only be able to look after others if you're looking after yourself.
So one last question from your side as an Ayurvedic practitioners to the students of today, the present Gen Z children, who are like too much on the outside food, on the junk foods, because that is where the gut health becomes bad and diseases are coming up. So what is your advice to the students of Ayurveda and to the Gen Z children, how can they cut down these junk foods out of their life?
As long as they have the right balance, it's no harm. Even I eat junk food like once in a while. Say, कभी-कभी मेरा भी दिल करता है कि मैं चाट पापड़ी खाऊं या मैं समोसे खाऊं. So it's not like that I don't eat junk at all. But maximum time I make sure that if I'm eating like unhealthy, I will make sure that one day I cook just a khichdi, which is a moong dal khichdi and rice khichdi, right? And I'll have that, or I'll fast, just like be on the fruits whole day rather than being empty stomach, and not eat anything junk or heavy, or just have a soup. So it's very important to have that balance and understanding that there is you can eat everything. You can enjoy even the street foods, it doesn't matter. But as long as your rest of the week, you are just having 3 days, you are eating healthy, you are just eating home cooked food, and then once in a while, if you have that junk food, it's not going to harm you. But with today's generation, it's very important to understand, because they need to be built, the foundation builds from home. So however you will discipline them, they will follow that. Even my children, they eat non-veg or outside food, but it's a must, it's a discipline. At night, it has to be a dinner at home, and it needs to be a home cooked food. So once a week, they can get anything outside, say a dinner or a lunch, whatever they want to, and when they go out with friends, they can have that. But when they come home, they need to have it's just a discipline. You can't change the kids and their habits when they're grown up, and it just needs to be built up right from the beginning. If you are going to create a discipline that this is how it is, they will follow.
That is a great, wonderful, Vanita ji, listening to you, your story, and the positive aura of yourself, and how you built up the Ayurveda in Australia, and now you are a rising star over there. And the discipline which you have built up with your children is an example that yes, whatever you want to do, it can be done. So it was really wonderful meeting you, and thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
सो फ्रेंड्स, अभी आपने देखा कि विनीता जी ने कितनी खूबसूरत बातें बोली है कि सेल्फ इम्पॉर्टेंस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज हमें सेल्फ मी टाइम देना है. वी हैव टू गिव मी टाइम टू आवर सेल्फ एंड द बैलेंस विच वी हैव टू मेक इट एट होम. सो इवन इफ यू हैव एनी स्टोरी विच यू वांट टू शेयर विद अदर पीपल, so do contact us at ngo.iwa@gmail.com. This is your host Daljeet Kaur, and see you again in our next episode. Till then, bye-bye.